Hey everybody, I'm Mark Blickenstaff, General Manager of Moore Lumber and Hardware in Castle Rock, Colorado. Welcome to episode 5 of Builders and Beer. Today I've got my good friend Curtis Anderson with Southern Charm HVAC, and we are at Wild Blue, so thank you to Andrew and his awesome team and their amazing beverages. So first off, cheers buddy.
Cheers.
Let's get it on. All right Curtis, tell us about Southern Charm HVAC.
Southern Charm HVAC, local Castle Rock company, started around a year ago on my own. I've been doing HVAC for pretty much my whole life. I was born into it.
Right.
My dad did it, raised me up doing it. He retired from it. I'll probably follow the same course.
And obviously you're local, right?
Yeah.
Super local.
Super local. Castle Rock is my main area I focus on.
Right on. Okay, and so just Castle Rock, or do you go out Douglas County and all the above?
I'll go anywhere in Douglas County. I'll really travel into southern Denver and southern Aurora, that area, but mostly right here in Douglas County and Castle Rock. Okay,
because I see your truck everywhere, I swear. It's great. I love it. So I want to dive right into, let's start with more of the DIY side. So I'm a homeowner. Obviously I've got an HVAC system, the furnace, the air conditioner. It blows hot air and it blows cold air. I don't know what they do. But anyways, so as a homeowner, what should I be doing?
So small maintenance for a homeowner, for someone at home doing it themselves, you can, always changing your filters. At least, depending on if you have kids or pets and all of that, you want to change them once a month. Unless, if it's just you, most people keep a real clean house anyways. So you can get away with going up to 90 days, but 30 days is really the recommended deal. That's the big deal for your filters. And as far as maintenance on your stuff, for heat in the wintertime, if you have a humidifier, you're gonna want to change the filter for that. You're gonna want to make sure everything is operating properly early in the year, like September, October, somewhere in there. You're really gonna want to get that all checked out. As a homeowner DIY, you can change your filters, do your own flame sensor, which you take out. It's a 1/4-inch screw, comes right out. Use a dollar bill is the best thing in the world there is to clean that with.
Okay.
It's cotton, it doesn't scratch it, so it won't build up corrosion faster.
Okay.
So it just cleans it right off. Super easy homeowner fixes.
Right on. So that's just going to keep my system running nicely, more efficiently.
Yes, it'll just help it run more efficiently. It'll make it to where in the middle of the night it doesn't just stop running.
Okay, so filters, you said every 30 days. I suck at that. Okay.
No one's good at that.
No one's good at that? Oh, good. I feel a little bit better. So, there's 1,000,001 different variations of filters out there, right?
Yes.
Some of them you can see through, some of them you can't even begin to see through. What should we be looking for in a good filter? I'm
a big proponent of the cheap, thin filters.
Okay.
As those get dirty, they last longer. They allow more air to come through, so you're not going to overheat. And as they get dirty, they will actually pick up more dust and pet hair and dander and all of that stuff. And they'll last longer. And like I said, those high pleated filters clog really fast, and they start causing issues all the time, just quick.
So what kind of issues do they cause? If obviously it's a system that moves air. So if we're not allowing air to move, are we suffocating the system?
Yes, you're not allowing enough air to go across the heat exchangers, which will cause it to overheat and shut off, and you'll end up calling me because something's weird is happening and you don't know why.
Now I got a big problem.
Yeah, and now you've caused other issues.
Okay, and so would I notice like a decrease in my heating efficiencies, or would I just notice cold air getting blown through?
Yeah, you would notice all of a sudden your temperature just starts dropping. You're not getting warm air anymore, it's just cold air. Okay. And when you go look at your furnace, there's an indicator light on pretty much all of them. On the bottom door, there's just a little sight glass you can see through.
Okay.
And there's an indicator light behind it, and it'll almost always be blinking for that issue, usually 3 at a time, depending on the brand.
Okay. But
there'll be a code saying, you've overheated and hit the high limit, so now we're shutting you off.
I should go check that out, I guess. Oops. Oh, well. So if we check our air filters and everything's running great, things do happen though, right?
Yeah.
So when is it time to actually call you instead?
So if you're a DIYer, a lot of guys are, you can go in, take the panel off where the burners and everything are, depending on if you have a standard efficiency unit or a high efficiency furnace. You can look and you can clear the pressure tubes. They're just little rubber tubes in there. You can clear those on your own. Make sure everything's good with those, because those also clog up. Heaters, especially high efficiency heaters, they make a lot of water, which is where you get your high efficiency. There's a secondary heat exchanger that water runs through. So they clog up. It's very hard water. It's very acidic. So it causes clogs in the backside of ports and whatnot that those little hoses are hooked to. You can clean those a lot of the time. That's really a lot of what I see around here is a lot of that.
So I've done all that and I'm still having issues. Time to call you though.
Give me a call.
Okay, so we'll give you a shout. Now I know it's really hard to think about. I'm going to completely switch gears here real fast, because we're sitting here and it's a beautiful sunny day today, but we also got 6 inches of snow coming up. But now is about the time to get my air conditioning checked, isn't it?
It's a good time to start thinking about getting your air conditioner checked. Between March and April is whenever I would recommend that the most, getting that done, having us come out, make sure obviously filters are clean, make sure the fan blades are clean, check the outside unit, make sure that it's clean, ready to go, all your capacitors are good, that sort of thing.
And that's a service you provide, obviously. I mean,
that's a service I provide.
Seasonal, I would guess, start up and shut down type of thing.
Yep, I do the same thing with the heaters, and September, October, even August. August is iffy, just because it's still pretty warm usually. Right,
and so that routine maintenance will essentially keep my stuff going longer.
It'll help everything run longer.
Because they're not cheap to replace.
No.
I found that out not too long ago. So we want to avoid replacement as much as we can. So if we do these startups and shutdowns appropriately, where you come in,
we can usually catch a problem before it happens. Not all the time. There are times that we'll come out, clean it, everything looks great, and a week later you call me and something catastrophic has happened that nobody saw coming.
Right. Okay.
But that's not normally the case.
Cool. Okay. So we're talking about air conditioning, and we're going to get those things started up here within the next couple months, because probably, you and most other HVAC guys out in the world are probably going to start booking up here real fast.
Yeah, once it starts to warm up, everybody gets crazy booked up.
Right. It's like a tire shop. You don't get snow tires until the first snow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay.
Exactly.
So it just kind of delays things.
Yes.
And right now, especially, delays are kind of part of the industry of every industry, I guess.
Yeah, right now, delays are, I guess they're just the thing that's in right now, as bad as that sounds. Kind of what's popular.
Right. So if we get you scheduled out, at least we have an idea. You can at least gather some supplies, get them rolling before, and that way you're actually still hitting timelines and everybody's still nice and cool when that first 80 degrees shows up.
Yeah, exactly. I try to keep a certain amount of things on stock. Obviously, I can't keep a lot of things in stock on my truck, but I do keep the smaller things to where, even right now, if you called and there's something small, I probably got it on my truck. We can fix that pretty quick, pretty easy. But yeah, your bigger parts and things like that are getting hard to get.
Sure. So, okay, so we produce cold air, hot air, whichever it might be, then it's going to go blowing through a duct. Is duct something that you tackle as well, or do you have a good guy for that?
So duct cleaning, I don't do.
Okay.
We have a great local guy here that does that with Jimmy Hamilton.
Okay.
He does excellent work. I recommend him to any of my customers that ask about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But as far as running ductwork, if you finish your basement or you want to add ductwork somewhere, I provide that service.
Okay, nice. And so when you're adding ductwork, obviously we're kind of, it's a little bit of a science to air movement, right? We can't just throw ducts in willy-nilly and expect the same performances.
There's a lot that goes into that, and I see a lot here that there wasn't a lot of consideration taken when doing ductwork in most homes.
Okay.
They're engineered, and I don't know. They're just not the greatest.
Fair enough. Without casting shade on somebody. Sure, I understand.
Yeah, without. Yes.
That's fair. Okay, so you brought up basement remodels, which is a fantastic thing. I've mentioned it more than once. I've got a basement to redo. So when I'm planning that, you need to be there part of the planning stage. Is that fair?
Yeah, you want to come in with that usually after you're framed or whenever you're starting to frame, where we can discuss where we can put things, and that way the framer kind of stays out of my way and I stay out of his.
Sure.
Same way with your electricians and everyone else. You'll want everyone to kind of know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise we step all over each other and
Right.
Everybody gripes about that.
Now, is it something to bring you in also at the beginning to say, hey, this is the unit I have. Is it going to do what I need it to do? Or
Yeah, it's always good to know, is your equipment big enough? Because that's something that if it's not and you add it, well, then you're going to call me mad because now your whole house isn't heating properly or cooling properly, and now you're mad at me because I moved more air from somewhere you didn't want it.
Right. Now, so you brought up moving air to different spots, and I mean, it seems like every house I've ever been in has always got cold zones, hot zones, and so on.
Yeah.
How do we combat that? What are some tactics?
You'll want to call, like, the best way to do that is a balancing company.
Okay.
And that's what they specialize in. You know, I can come look at it, and I'm probably going to tell you that it's in a wall. Like, your ductwork runs through walls. It's usually in the basement, and it runs all the way to the second story, which is horrible. But that's how they do HVAC here.
Long ways, yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. Every house that's over 1 story should have 2 systems.
Okay.
Most all of them have 1 here. There's not a huge heat load or cold load here, because let's face it, our weather in Colorado is beautiful.
Right.
All the time.
Uh-huh.
So, and that's where a lot of these guys get away with, it doesn't matter, just put in ductwork and go.
Okay.
It still matters because you got static pressure to worry about. Where are you pulling air from for your returns? Are you getting proper circulation? That sort of thing.
So what is static air? You just said that
Static
one.
pressure is...
Oh, static pressure, excuse me.
Yeah, it's the pressure in your ductwork that you want. It's what helps equalize everything.
Okay.
So if you go into your basement right now and you look at the supply trunk line, most likely, I can already tell you probably got ducts taken off the very end of that, or really, really close to it. Yeah, you never want that.
Oh.
You want everything at least 6 inches away from the end of the trunk line, because what that does is it allows the air to hit it and push back, and essentially it causes a ballooning effect. I mean, nothing actually balloons up, but it causes a back pressure, which causes air to flow more evenly.
Okay.
Most people don't have that here. I don't even have it in my house. And without tearing out walls and whatnot, there's not really a way to fix that.
So it is what it is. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now, does that static pressure build up enough to impact our systems at all, or are we still?
Yes.
It does. Okay.
Yes. Like I said, me included, I don't have enough static pressure in my system, and I know this just from the way the ducts are run. There's the way it's been done in the 80s just literally has killed it.
Okay. So, Curtis, let's talk about one more DIY thing, because we do promote DIY at More Lumber. Not that we don't love our tradesmen as well, because you guys are skilled and fantastic. But on the air conditioner front, because it is about time, what kind of service can a homeowner do themselves?
So on that, and I agree with you guys, I love DIY guys. I love it whenever other people call me from around here locally and I can walk them through steps, because I never have an issue with walking a person through look at these things and see if it's one of these small things that you can fix on your own. So a DIYer for your air conditioner, obviously you're checking filters, checking the inside, making sure life's good, but you can go outside to your outside condenser. You can turn off either the breaker to the air conditioner outside, probably the easiest for homeowners, or there's a disconnect by every single air conditioner. You can unplug that disconnect and wash the coils, wash down on the coils and get the dirt and whatnot out of them. There's DIY things that you can do, and you can do that several times a year. In the summer, it'll make your air conditioner run more efficient and make your bills cheaper.
All right. Okay, so just fun question. What's the craziest thing you found inside an air conditioner?
Things I can say on air.
PG at most.
PG at most. Kids love to stuff their Hot Wheels and dolls down in ductwork.
Just cause, huh?
Just randomly, yeah.
Right.
Found that. I've found squirrels and birds in exhaust, and I had one earlier this year that literally there were birds for some reason were hanging out on top of an exhaust, and one of them died from carbon monoxide and fell down into the exhaust and into the furnace and got stuck in the little inducer motor.
Oh.
I've seen that happen several times.
All right. Well, Curtis, again, I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate everything you do for us at More Lumber.
Thanks for having me.
We use the heck out of Curtis all the time. It keeps our building nice and cool or hot, depending on the season. And we don't call them as frequently as we probably should, but So greatly appreciate you coming on today. And thanks for tuning in, guys. Good night to my wife, and we'll see you next time.